Welcome to the Rotary Time Show, a public service program presented by Rotary District 7610, Virginia. Funding for the program is made possible by the generosity of Rotary District 7610. On our programs, we talk with Rotarians and community leaders and discuss Rotary International and how each level helps local, national, and world communities. I am your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. Our guest for this program is the chair of District 7610's Youth Service and Programs Committee. Please help me welcome Rotarian Jim Holcombe. Many of you will also know Jim as one who's usually sitting next to me as one of our co-hosts for this show. However, today we want to learn more about Jim and another one of his passions, and that's our youth. Welcome, Jim.
Welcome to you, too.
Yeah.
That's good.
Rotary's fifth pillar is youth services and programs. So you're the best person, I believe, that can give us the answers to our questions about the new programs that the district is now put in place. But before we even do that, let me congratulate you on your new appointment.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to get started now. So this year, District 7610 combined youth services and the exchange programs under one person. Mm-hmm. This was done by DG Harry Henderson. Mm-hmm. What excites you about your new role as chair?
Well, there's a lot of things, but it's really like coming back from a long vacation.
Okay.
Most people know me from either this show or from being the PI chair for many years and
Mm-hmm.
assistant to the district governor. But many don't know that my roots go back to youth.
Mm-hmm.
It was 8 years ago, exactly, almost, where I was the co-chair for the district. First under Juanita Colley and then under Rich Story.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'd like to say is I don't know if I'm the best guy for the, like you said, but history is important.
Yes,
I was a history teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and what my passion is for all of this is people. Mm-hmm. It's not the position; it's people. And so, when I was the assistant co-host, the Interact co-host for the district, I worked for Juanita Colley. Later on, I worked for her in the newsletter, and I'm now working with Dick Story, who's now the executive director for the district. And of course, you were, when I was a school teacher, you were head of my school. So the one lesson we can do for our viewing audiences is you have to be real careful and pay attention to people because that's what's really important.
Yes, it is. Well, we're happy that you have the role. I do recall the true impact that you had with Interact at Justice High School.
Yes.
In fact, I believe Justice was the largest Interact club.
That's hard to believe, isn't it?
In the nation. So
yeah, Rotary's headquarters is in Evanston,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent somebody out one time from Evanston, and they want to know how we did it. Well, we gave donuts to all the kids. That's the management tool. So,
yeah, there you go. That
the
always works.
The principal said, "Food works for anybody." Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about what makes the District 7610 youth programs special. What makes it special?
It really is. And what makes it special is that, like I said before, it's the people. Mm-hmm. But in this case, we have a lot of activities that other service organizations don't have. Mm-hmm. So without being too boring, I'll just list some of them and tell you why they're special. Mm-hmm. So the first one is we have a RILA program, a RILA camp, mm-hmm. and that's leadership. We're going to talk a little later about leadership, but we have a RILA camp, we have district contests, and we have other activities that are special.
Mm. Okay, so Rotary has a long history of, as you just pointed out, of scholarship programs,
Right.
essay contests, leadership camps.
And the Rotary Youth Exchange.
and
This
the
is
Rotary
something
Youth
not a
Exchange.
lot of people know about. Yeah.
Okay, so that does make it very unique and special in terms of what we do in Rotary as opposed to some
That's
other
right.
organizations.
A differentiation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So who are the participants in these programs?
So who are the participants? Well, they really fall into three areas. It's almost inside the tent and outside the tent. So the participants obviously are the people, the adults who sponsor these activities, like the Interact sponsor, like I was. The other are volunteers. For the Rotary Youth Exchange, we have a whole network of volunteers. Some who are not Rotarians, but should be. We need to get always looking for membership. And then the other are the kids themselves.
Yeah.
So they really fall into three areas.
Yes, they do. And your volunteers, those like who are they? Where you get your volunteers from?
The Rotary Youth Exchange is hard to believe. That's been involved since 1975 as an official, a quote official Rotary unit. And over the years, they have a whole list of volunteers that work with the exchange, different exchange students, but within the system.
Yeah. And you talk about an exchange. I remember when I was high school principal, and we would host or work with you all to host students from other countries. What countries do we partner with to do that as well?
It's wherever the opportunity is. The way it works is we send somebody out, they have to send
Somebody in.
Yeah, so it could be India, it could be a number of places. The only ones you can't do is they have a list of, like you used to look on your passport and it says you can't go to Red China or someplace. So there's some prohibitive areas for a number of reasons.
Yes, yeah.
But it could be where the opportunity is.
Gotcha. Okay. What's been the impact over the years of
Unbelievable.
maybe some of the? Can you give us an example of
sure.
one program maybe that has had a
Yes.
huge
Well,
impact?
That's something that District Governor Harry really wants now. What we really haven't done enough is we cloistered all these different disparate groups almost with self-imposed barriers. Nobody's talking to the right hand's not talking to the left hand. What you need is coordination between this. And so look at the opportunities with Interact. You know, you have parents, you have people in the school, and so the one that's done the most for me, since I was an Interact sponsor, is the Interact Club.
And what is the age of Interact?
It goes from the teenage until the next stage is Rotaract, and I think that can go until a lot later. Maybe I can't remember the exact date, but it's like 30-something.
So do you have any middle school
Yes,
programs?
that's something we were going to talk about. The middle school has something that we had. There's a lot of this stuff that kind of ebbs and flows. And at first, about 10 years ago, we actually had Rotary clubs in the school, and our focus was the school. And then, depending on who the club president, it gets taken in a different direction. But we're going back to that, and that's important because. You need the everything is the principal. You are a principal, everything's got to have the benedicto sanctum of the principal. So what you need is Interact clubs that have some program that tie into a school program. For too many years, I'm going to get to your answer, but too many years the Rotary clubs pushed what they wanted. What we need to do. The schools are our customer. We need to find out what the principal wants. And so the one thing that sticks out with me is I was also a tennis coach. And what we're offering is not just a program, it's mentoring for some of these needy kids. And I had one guy who was a Malaysian, and he and I hit it off because I speak Malaysian and Indonesian, obscure language. And he became my assistant tennis coach when he was in college. And now he's an adult club member.
Wonderful.
He handles $500 million.
Did he come back to your club?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Well, I brought him back to my
Yeah.
club. That's.
But he came back.
But I kept in contact with him. He still plays tennis.
Okay.
So this is just, we only have a 30 minutes program, but it's all like that. The kids call me up all the time, and in this era we probably have 5,000 kids over my 20-year career as a teacher. So they call up and they expect me to know them by heart. Mr. Holcombe, this is Julie. Yes. How are you, Julie?
Well, you've had the largest program on the East Coast, so that would be something.
But you're
that's
expected to
commendable.
remember everybody individually, and you
Yes,
try.
well, you're supposed to.
And you try.
That's good. To do the programs, they have to be funded in some ways.
Yes.
How do you get the funding for the various programs?
Excellent question. And obviously I give you a very effusive answer. It varies, and it really does. Some are funded by the district. Some are funded jointly by the district and the club. And some have I guess you would say, a nominal fee. Like the RILA used to be around $250.
And what's RILA?
And what is RILA? So we can move into that. That's probably one of our best programs. And it originally came out of Australia, but I've gone to that for at least 15, 20 years. And I bring kids, and it's Rotary, Youth, Leadership Awards, and then we throw in camps. Because it's an overnight camp in an old WPA. I don't know if the viewers are as old as me, but WPA was a Franklin Roosevelt program. So it's an old logging camp, and they stay in bungalows, and it's a lot of fun. And they learn skills. And if I can go on with that, Ryla, I don't know if you want to address that later, but I could.
Well, you said RILA is one of the programs that's funded by the district, or
Yes.
and the kids can attend free of charge. Is that right?
It's $250, and that it used to be, in case.
But they don't pay that.
The club does.
The club pays.
And then there's volunteers like me who fund specific events. Like for years, I've funded the Jim Holcombe ice cream contest.
But these are all high school.
That's
These are
right.
high school programs.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's another connection with membership. You see, we're talking about parents and stuff. The girl who won our speech contest last year was also a very recognized leader at RILA, and her father is a Rotarian at the big Alexandria Rotary Club.
But they don't have to be Rotarians' children.
No, and they come
These
from.
are open to
They
all
come up
students.
from all different.
From all different
Yeah.
schools. And is
But
it just the county, or is it Fairfax? Just Fairfax?
It's in Prince Williams County.
Okay.
So, we're, in case the viewers don't know, District 76 is northern and central Virginia. So
Okay.
we draw from.
We have a
all
wide
over.
range
Yeah.
of young people. Great. All right. We're going to take a short break and be right back and talk more with Rotarian Jim Holcombe from the District 7610, the new chair for youth services. So hang in there with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Rotary Times. We're here talking with Rotarian Jim Holcombe, the chair of District 7610 Youth Services and Programs. We've had a wonderful conversation early on about the various programs, how they're funded, the types of programs, the age groups, because it sounds like you have a wide range that, with the exception of elementary, you really are impacting the kids in the district. How are the programs staffed? Do volunteers have to get cleared before they can work with students? How do you do that?
It's very important. All of that's important. So this year, it's been top down. And when I say top down, District Governor Harry and I have pretty much staffed people. We keep people in some positions, but we no longer want people in there for decades. Mm-hmm. Like any other organization, we want succession planning, and we want people to have a variety of different backgrounds, because the more experience they have, the more successful they are. And so we pick people, and we keep people in certain spots. So it's a combination of that.
Do they have to have any
Yes,
education
you're talking
background?
About yes. They have to be certified, and it's very, very complicated and important. Mm-hmm. Unlike some other organizations, we're very fortunate we haven't had any major problems.
Well, when you say they have to be certified?
We have a combination of things, and one of the things I need to mention is that we have partners. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know that our partners for Rotary Youth Exchange, because student exchange is really a State Department activity. It affects the United States relations with other countries. Mm-hmm. So we have 3 organizations that we work with as partners. One is called Essex, mm-hmm. and that's the East Coast Exchange organization. We have a thing called the NIAN, which is the North American Youth Network. And we also have to comply with the State Department, U.S. State Department guidelines. And so what we have for certification is we have a 4-tiered certification program, and it depends on how much contact you have with the with youth, whether or not you're supervising the activities. And we have a wonderful man who I want to mention on camera, mm-hmm. is my vice chair for Rotary Youth Exchange is Phil Rusielli, mm-hmm. and he was formerly the District Youth Protection Officer. So for many people like myself, it's amazing how many hoops you have to go through. And then what we do, once you're a club youth protection officer, we're responsible for the members of our own club. So it's a pretty extensive program.
So every club has a youth protection officer?
For the first time.
Okay.
And it's not whether it's not that we've been at risk, mm-hmm. but it's something that we've put a lot of attention on. And it takes a lot of time, Herculean task, but it's worth it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wonderful.
And then, of course, we have programs, too,
mm-hmm.
which we do, like modules and stuff. And we have presentations on bullying and harassment and mm-hmm. abuse. And I'm gonna switch roles for you. You might want to say something. You are our district development leader, and you gave one yourself with Don Wellen, our executive director, to all the club presidents.
Yeah. Well, it's important in the times that we live that we all understand harassment and what that means.
That's right.
As from K-12 through adult and college,
right.
and the workplace. So.
And we have a zero tolerance.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we have to protect the youth that we serve, and our youth programs are very special to us.
They are.
So we want to make sure that
Yes.
we're always, that they are our top priority.
That's right.
And keeping them safe.
And so we also we don't just pick people that are capable. They have to have all the people involved in this have a thorough background check and all that.
Okay, great.
As well.
It's been said that youth who participate in community service feel more connected to
mm-hmm.
their communities, and they're better engaged in their
Yes.
schools. What's your thought on that? Have you seen evidence of that in your time working with the youth in our programs?
Yes, yes, and yes again.
Okay.
And I say that 3 times because it affects different youth in different ways. And I guess the the most personal impact for me was at my own high school. And so we were one of the poorest high schools in maybe more than Virginia, and that's judged by something called free and reduced lunch. That's how they decide the socioeconomics. And for those kids, it's the basics. And you're just like when I was a tennis coach. It's the mentoring that's really important to them. By being with an adult like that out of the classroom, the mentoring is just something that would never happen otherwise. So that's the big one. But for people that are going on to college, and you as a principal know that's so important for the reputation of the school and for those individuals. You have your own programs at the school that you need to fulfill requirements for. Like our school was an IB school.
Which is International Baccalaureate for our viewing audience.
Yes,
yeah.
and AP I would guess would be the same.
Advanced placement is the same. Advanced placement is U.S. driven.
Yes.
IB is international.
That's correct. And when I say correct, I'm not. you were a principal, but that's exactly right. But the IB in particular has certain requirements, and so you can see the natural tie between Rotary Youth Exchange.
Oh, yes.
Scholarships. Most of the clubs have scholarships, and they even have hours that they have to do to fulfill to meet the program. And usually our activities fulfill those requirements. So it affects people in different ways. But you know what? It's the mentoring that's important. I remember that, and I got the first glimpse of that when I was a tennis coach.
There's value in helping young people understand service.
That's right.
Service above self, which is our motto. And for them to leave school with that and take that into the real world. And
then they come back.
And it comes back.
See?
Always
and
comes
they come back to Rotary.
It always comes back.
Yeah. We have 3 now in our club.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, 3 that were
Wonderful.
old.
We have to get them on the show. You know them, so we have to get them on the show.
That's probably not how you get them on the show.
Talk about the pandemic right now.
Okay, good.
How is that impacting youth activities?
Zoom, and Zoom. I'm not Mr. Technology, but one thing I have learned how to do I've become very adroit at Zoom. So like other organizations, not just service organizations, we do a lot of stuff by Zoom now. And one of our partners that I talked about, Essex, they even had their senior training on Zoom. So it's everywhere for training and for. There's no more face-to-face meetings. That's not going ahead. But Zoom's kept things going.
So are the Interact kids at the high schools, are they doing Zoom meetings as well right now?
We're very fortunate in that most of our Interact activities are during the calendar school year.
Okay.
So the fact that this hit us at the end last year, going into the summer, really wasn't that troublesome. But I do want to mention that Zoom came to the rescue even for that. We were in the middle of our speech contest last year. And how do you think we did that?
Through Zoom.
Well, that one wasn't Zoom, but it's the same type of electronic virtual, and we'll probably have that again this year.
Okay.
And so this year we postponed our RILA, which we talked about. But we're going to probably have it maybe in the spring with some virtual
aspect to it.
Yeah, aspect, yeah.
How many Rotarians and volunteers are involved in the combined youth services and
Yeah.
programs? How many?
And membership. We saw an advantage of breaking down these self-imposed barriers. So there's a natural leverage with membership by connecting youth. We want younger members in Rotary. Well, you're not going to get that just by talking and expect something different to happen. So the way to get is to connect with youth activities. And so the combined is going to be shocking, I think, even to you. It's over 50 people.
Okay.
You know, that's a small company.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have a specific role.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's talking to everybody else now.
Which is good.
Which is good.
Always a good
and
thing.
and as opposed to the way it was with the barriers, not good.
Mm.
So we have over 50. We have an oversight committee in case there's ever a problem, and then that's not even including the interact clubs and the exchange volunteers. So it's huge.
It's huge. If we have club officials sitting out there in our audience right now, who should they contact if they're interested in participating in any of the youth services programs that you've described?
Call me or Harry.
Okay.
When I say Harry, I mean District
Governor.
Governor Harry Henderson.
Okay.
And you can find us on the district website.
Okay.
You know, go to your club president if that's easier for you to become involved. But we're ready to take care of. We're actually looking for 5 people right now. We are looking at past district governors, but past presidents usually. But there's no hard and fast rule on that. The only thing that needs a past president is the district governor job. So if you're interested and we feel you're qualified and you can bring something, just give us a call.
Okay, that sounds like a winner, always. Just to go to the district website. So I want to thank you for joining me on the other side of the set today, because I know you'll be back on this side real soon.
So I've still got a job.
You still got a job.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you so much for
My pleasure.
sharing. Funding for this program is made possible by the generosity of Rotary District 7610, Virginia. For the Rotary Times program, I am your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. You're welcome to join us at a Rotary Club in your area for either breakfast, lunch, or dinner. You can find a club near you by just looking us up on the internet. Remember, our time is your time, and it's always time well spent. Please join us for our next program as we continue to celebrate Rotary's 115 years of service above self.